All right, Shalom. All right, let me get straight into this lesson. All right, so brothers and sisters, kind of bear with me. I'm still battling this cold, man. It's like getting the best of it. You know what I'm saying? I can't even really breathe out my nose. So let me try to get through this as I can, through the spirit. So what I want to do is the Renaissance artists, right? So when you look at your modern day pictures of, people out of the Bible, all these images have been whitewashed because they was created around the 1400s, and they was pushed right when the so-called white man would go colonize. He would bring in his form of Christianity and make them submit to the image, right, of so-called white Jesus. So that's what's still implanted in most of our people's minds to this very day. That's why you got to really be thankful, brothers and sisters, that you can see. You know what I'm saying? We know this gospel and the understanding of the truth is only for the elect of the nation of Israel. That's how special the elect is, right? So most of our people are still bound by what they've been taught growing up as a kid in Sunday school, right? Whatever genre that they was taught, right? And these images live in their mind forever. So that's why you have to be set free, all right, from the captivity of being right indoctrinated and brainwashed. A lot of people don't even know they're indoctrinated and brainwashed, most of our people. So let me get into this lesson. So what you don't know is you had something called a renaissance. Renaissance means rebirth. Rebirth of what? Rebirth of so-called white supremacy. Edomites came back into power, right, and started to push their philosophies, they worship, right, they idolatry, they wickedness through the four corners of the earth. And that's what you have now, a world full of sickness, evil, right, idolatry. I mean, you go down the list, man. It's so vast, it's hard to really sum it up. You got homosexuality that's pushed and promoted in this country, but yet they say that this is a God. They say this nation was founded on biblical principles. Well, that's a lie. You know what I'm saying? Because did not the Most High destroy Sodom and Gomorrah and the surrounding cities for homosexuality? Right? So what Bible are you people reading? You're delusional. So let's get all into this lesson. So I'm gonna show you something that you probably don't know. So during the Renaissance, you had Renaissance artists, right? Let's go here. So we know Renaissance means rebirth. That's how you got the movie, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They got it from these artists that helped propel white supremacy, so-called white supremacy, and to what you have it today, right? So when you see any kind of books, magazines, uh, educational books, you know what I'm saying, biblical period pieces dealing with anything dealing with the Bible, all the characters are all whitewashed. And what does that do to your psyche? Right, that plays that psychological warfare, whether you know it or don't know it. So those images are implanted in your mind, and that's why Jake think, Jake that go into the some other genre of belief, whether it be Islam, the black unconscious community, Hinduism. You got Jakes that science into Scientology. Jake all bugged out. Jehovah Witness, Seventh Day Adventist, you name it, because they know some Jakes kind of understand that those images, right? They attach the images that they've been seeing growing up to the Bible. They understand that the so-called white man stole the Bible and used it as the weapon and claiming to be us. They can't make that connection. They think the so-called white man is just that brilliant, right? That he the people. No, right? What did this devil do? Steal, kill, destroy. That's his blessing. That's what he do better than everybody else do. Lie, steal, deceive, right? That's what they do. Look at this. Look at the so-called white man track record. I'm not making none of this up, right? Look how they got this country, and everywhere else they went, they brought the madness, man. Just gonna keep it at that. But these Renaissance artists, right here to the left, to the very top, Leonardo da Vinci, which is a big devil, right? That painted a lot of images that you see today. You have Michelangelo, Raphael, and Donatello. Remember going back into that concept with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? That's where they got this concept from these artists. And you had other artists right here, right? There was a lot more artists that help push this so-called white supremacy. So let's go here. Matter of fact, let me go hit this scripture real quick so I won't forget. I'm not gonna make this too long. It's like I can't even really breathe through my nose. All right, 2 Corinthians 4:4. It says, "In whom the God of this world have blinded the minds." Oh, that's heavy. How did he blind the minds? Let's go back here. What is this? Let's find this main image that's still implanted in most of our people's mind. Let's go here. Give me 1 second. 1 second. All right, so I just went to Google, and I put in the name. We hate saying the name, but I'm just trying to do this to prove a point, right? Because that's what everybody, what I'm saying, these people bugged out. They say Jesus, right? But we know his true name is Yahushua, and we hate that name, man. But I'm trying to make a point with this. When you go to images, right? Let's go right here. So this when people put it into Google and they trust this as a source of information of the truth, what you see, the so-called white man. But I'm gonna show you something here. I always go deeper. Don't never just stop at the surface. You gotta always dig deeper. That's where all the gems and the gold at. So you look at this image right here, which is a lie, right? You can look at who painted this. It says the Christ. Let me just click it. Salakia. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, here you go. But it's even tell you when this was painted, right? Let me see. Let me kind of skim over this. It says the 6th century AD, right? So this painting was painted around that time frame, but you had some called, like I said, the Renaissance, when these devils came back into power to push these images, right? Because we know the Messiah was a so-called black man. So like when we see the Messiah in our mind, we see him being a so-called black man, and you should too, because that's the truth. When you see the Most High in your mind, when you imagine him, you need to see him as a so-called black man. If you don't, I mean, you haven't got free from this. Let me go back. Let me go to one of the more popular ones, right? So this pushes so-called white supremacy. This guy, right? Which, again, we know this is not the Messiah. The Messiah would not have had long hair. In the book of Revelations, chapter 1, 13 through 15, describes his description, and Daniel 10 and 6, the 10th chapter of Daniel, if I'm not mistaken, right? So let's go back here. So our people that don't think we the people, they don't believe, right, what we saying, their mind's been blinded by the so-called white man. It says, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds. This is the ultimate mental game of them which believe not. So that's most of our people outside of this congregation. Connection locked. Right? They don't believe. Give me 1 second. It said, at least the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of Yahweh, should shine unto them. Right? So this most of our people mind's been blinded. Let's go to this word blind. Right? I'm going to go show you a cold definition. It says blind. And it's like our people sleepwalking through America, right? Just trying to make it. They not concerned with the spiritual things going on around them. They just worried about their day-to-day folly, right? Paying bills and just doing the things of the world. That's all they really give a damn about. It says number 2. It says deprive someone of understanding. Ooh, that's heavy. Deprive someone of understanding. So why do our people buck up against the scriptures? Why do our people scoff when we do these lessons? Why do our people get mad when we break these scriptures down correctly? Because they don't understand, right? They lost, right? They don't have the understanding to know we is telling them the truth. The only people that understand is the elect of the nation of Israel, right? Because the Most High built them to get it. Again, 2 Corinthians 4:4, in whom the God of this world, so the so-called white man is the power of this current world, because he controls, through the power of the Most High, he controls pretty much pretty much the world. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, right? So let me show you something. Read this, right? So this is guy Sean King or whatever. It says right here. It says at the very top, his concerns about the depiction of. I'm just gonna read it how they got it worded. Christ and how it is used to uphold notions of so-called white supremacy, right? And it does to this very day. It says are not isolated. It says prominent scholars and the Archbishop of Canterbury have called to reconsider Yahweh poetry as a so-called white man, right? It says as a European, so it's no such thing as Europeans either. They Edomites. They relabel themselves as Spanish, right? As French, right? Greeks, Romans, etc., right? These are Edomites. It says, as European Renaissance art historian, I study the evolving image of so-called JC from AD 1350 to 1600. Some of the best known depictions of Hamashiach, they got Christ, from Leonardo da Vinci, Last Supper, which it was two women in that picture, right? That picture is an abomination. And that's a stronghold that's still on most of our people's mind. It says to Michelangelo's Last Judgment, right? It says, but the all-time most reproduced, I want you to pay attention to this. This is important. And I did a lesson about this guy. It says, but the all-time most reproduced image of J comes from another period. It is Warner Salmon, light-eyed, light-haired head of Christ from 1940. It says Salmon was a former commercial artist who created art for advertising companies, successfully marketed this picture worldwide. You hear this? It says, though Salmon's partnership with two Christian publishing companies, one Protestant and one Catholic, they don't even make sense, but they all into the same thing, pushing so-called white supremacy. They might disagree on doctrines, but they still got that image in common. All these denominations of so-called Christianity, because it upholds white superiority, so-called, right? It says the head of Christ came to be included on everything from prayer cards to stained glass, fox art paintings, calendars, hymns, and night lights. It says Salmon. Right, okay, I think you get the point. All right, so this all witchcraft right here. This is a stronghold on most our people. And it's not our Messiah. It's not the Messiah out of the Bible. This they idol that they created. But let's go here before I close it up. I wanted to hear some more stuff, but I can't breathe. So, you know what I'm saying? Let me let this load up. Give me 1 second. Right here, this is called iconoclasts. This is a person that takes a dark image or just take an image in general. But you see what he's doing, taking that dark image, you know what I'm saying, and making it, whitewashing it, making it a so-called white person. So this is what they did. That's why you got all this Renaissance artwork that you see today that's in the magazines, the books, the literature, the history books, cartoons, movies, TV shows, internet, everywhere, right? So we've been, you know what I'm saying, set up to bring the truth to you so you can see. All right, hopefully this lesson was edifying. Kal Hala Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. Shalom.